What is copywriting? If you've bought this course, you should probably know that, but I think it's best to just kind of dive a little bit into this. It'll be a short lesson, but we're just going to go over the fundamentals of what copywriting actually is. So, the real definition, it's not what most people think. Copywriting is not about writing. It's not about using pretty sentences or clever paragraphs or being grammatically correct. What it is the science of human psychology applied through words to trigger specific actions. At its core, copywriting is understanding what makes people tick, what keeps them awake at 3 a.m, understanding their pain points, what they desire most, and what they desperately want to admit to themselves, desperately want but won't even admit to themselves. Everything starts with understanding the mind behind the click. And the best way to explain that is we really want to dig into who this customer is at the most fundamental level. We want to be inside their brain, really know what they want, what movies do they watch, what platforms do they use most, what do they think about this problem that they're having, what do they want, how do they want it, all of those things. So it's psychology first, words second. So a lot of people think that copywriting is just about good writing. It's really not. The best copywriters aren't even necessarily the best writers. They tend to be the best at human psychology. And this is what they understand. They understand what people fear losing more than what they want to gain. They know how to create urgency without being like some sort of sleazy salesman. They know why people buy emotionally and then they justify logically. And it's the difference between the features and benefits and why benefits aren't just enough. And we'll speak about storytelling because that's what I'm applying here. Our job isn't to inform, it's to influence. A content script or an article is to inform. That's not what we're doing here with copywriting. We want to influence someone to make a decision, whether that's buy now, sign up, like apply for something, whatever it may be, whatever the call to action is, we're trying to do that. I've been over this numerous times, but copy is everywhere. It's not just sales pages, it's literally everywhere. Website copy, video scripts, email sequences, social media posts, product descriptions, ad copy, UGC scripts, YouTube titles and thumbnails, even the writing that's on a thumbnail is copywriting. So, the underlying psychology of action. This is a big thing that we need to start understanding as copywriters. People don't buy products, they don't buy courses, they buy the transformation that that course or product gives them. They don't want to buy a gym membership, they want to feel confident in their body. They don't want to buy a course, they want the skills and the income and the status that that course provides. They don't want a software, they want the time that it saves and the problems that it solves. Copywriting is what bridges the gap between what you're selling and what they actually want. So we're talking about their pains, alleviating their pains and giving them their desires. This is another thing. It's about the conversation that's already happening in the customer's mind. The best copy doesn't start a new conversation. It joins the conversation and what's already happening in their mind. This is the thing, if you've ever watched the movie Inception, it's like when they implant the seed in the person's like dream. That's not what we're doing. The person's already having the dream and we're just entering the dream. We're not implanting anything. We're just going into their dream and then all we're doing is just talking about the things that's in their dream, their problems, their desires, their fears. Our job is to show up in that internal dialogue and guide that towards their new transformation or solution. And that again, that's why we need to know what keeps them up at night, what do they complain about to their friends, what do they complain about to their family, themselves, what do they secretly wish was different about their lives, and what have they already tried that hasn't worked. Your copy should feel like you're reading their mind. That is one of the best predictors of good copy. You'll notice this if you're reading something like a sales letter, or maybe you've entered some sort of funnel yourself and you're reading this email or an ad and you're like, oh my God, this person is reading my mind. That is good copywriting. So the difference between copywriting and writing. So again, writing communicates information. That's when we're speaking about articles, even novels. A novel, what we're doing is we're just communicating information so someone can build up a picture in their head. Copywriting is motivating behavior. With a sales page, we're not just telling them what this product is, although sometimes we can do that through demonstrative funnels. However, copywriting is actually trying to get them from A to B, that straight line sales that Jordan Belfort speaks about. We actually want them to make an action or take some sort of action or call to action at the end. Writing says our software has advanced features or speaks about the features. Copywriting says cut your admin time in half so that you can focus on what actually grows your business. Writing tries to sound smart. So this is a big problem that a lot of beginner copywriters will have. They try and sound smart and clever and use fancy words, and that's not copywriting. We need to be understood at the most fundamental level. A confused buyer never buys, so we need to make it clear. Every word, every sentence, every paragraph has one job, and that's move the audience closer to taking the action that we want them to take. So, in a world where attention spans are 3 seconds and people are bombarded with 10,000 plus marketing messages every day, AI can write decent copy, right? But the big difference between AI and someone who knows copywriting using AI is this. The copywriters who understand human psychology at the deepest level are going to dominate the space. And that's what I'm going to try and teach you throughout this. AI can mimic patterns, it can do deep customer research, but it can't feel. It can't get into the customer's minds yet. It probably will be able to soon. But it can't understand like nuanced emotions behind purchase decision. It can't join the dots between different industries. You need to be the bridge between AI and the customer. And it can't tap into specific fears and desires of your exact audience. You need to be the one that makes the decisions there. And this is where you come in. Your words, their actions equals your income, and you can make a lot of fucking money doing this. So that is what copywriting is, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.